The Rosetta Stone. This black granodiorite stone, carved around 196 BC, was the first ancient Egyptian bilingual text recovered in modern times. With it, researchers were able to decipher the previously untranslated hieroglyphic language. Discovered in July of 1799, the key to understanding ancient Egyptian literature and civilization now rests in London's British Museum. The Real Winnie the Pooh and Friends. Before Walt Disney turned Pooh and his friends into famous animated characters, they were very real, as was Christopher Robin Milne. The boy, living in England, received the bear for his first birthday from his father, author A. A. Milne. The toys were brought to the United States in 1947, and in 1987 they were donated to the New York Public Library. Lewis and Clark's Compass. Meriwether Lewis purchased this instrument in 1803 for a pending expedition into northwestern America. This silver-plated pocket compass, purchased for $5, was kept by Clark as a memento and later gifted to his friend, Captain Robert McCabe, whose heirs donated it in 1933 to the Smithsonian Institution. Galileo's telescopes. The father of observational astronomy, Galileo Galilei turned the 1600s on its ear when he suggested the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. One of his scientific tools was, of course, the telescope, and he confirmed the phases of Venus, discovered the 4 largest satellites of Jupiter, and observed Saturn's rings with these, which now rest in the Museo Galileo in Florence, Italy. The Shroud of Turin. Maybe you've heard of this notorious piece of cloth, but have you been witness to the mysterious image ingrained in the shroud? The intensely debated artifact of history has neither been accepted or rejected by the Catholic Church as the burial shroud of Jesus. But if you want to see it in person, you'll have to go to Royal Chapel of the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. A Watergate listening device. These chapstick tubes outfitted with tiny microphones were discovered in E. Howard Hunt's White House office safe during the Watergate investigation. They were used for clandestine operations for the Nixon administration, including contact with the burglars by transistor radio. They are now FBI property. Ed Gein's grave marker. The butcher of Plainfield, Ed Gein, gathered widespread notoriety after he was outed as a killer and general nutjob. After his death in 1984, Gein was buried in the family plot in Plainfield, Wisconsin, but you won't see a grave marker there. It was stolen in 2000, only to turn up a year later on a concert promoter's Instagram. The headstone was confiscated and is now kept in the basement of the Plainfield Police Department. Thomas Jefferson's writing desk. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence on this portable desk. He designed it himself, and it features a hinged lid for storage and a locking drawer. This desk was Jefferson's companion throughout his life as a patriot, diplomat, and president. It is now at the Smithsonian Institution. The Holy Lance. The Holy Lance, according to the Gospel of John, is the spear that pierced the side of Jesus as he hung on the cross. Academic experts say the likeliest date of this spearhead is the 7th century AD, and that the iron pin, claimed to be a nail from the crucifixion, hammered into the blade is consistent in length and shape with a 1st century AD Roman nail. The spearhead is kept at the Imperial Treasury at the Hofburg Palace in Vienna, Austria. The Wright brothers' airplane. The first sustained and controlled, heavier-than-air, powered flight comes courtesy of the Wright brothers and the Wright Flyer in 1903. The famed machine traveled 120 feet in 12 seconds at Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, with Orville Wright at the helm and Wilbur running alongside to balance it. The real deal can be seen at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Lindbergh baby ransom note. The abduction and murder of the American aviator and military officer Charles Lindbergh's son made so many headlines that it was referred to as the biggest story since the resurrection. The convicted kidnapper and killer, Bruno Richard Hauptmann, wrote this grammatically incorrect note to the family requesting money for the return of the boy. The Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient Jewish religious manuscripts, found in buried earthenware vessels in the caves near the Dead Sea, have great historical, religious, and linguistic significance. They include the second oldest known surviving manuscripts of works later included in the Hebrew Bible canon. The Dead Sea Scrolls are currently owned by the government of the State of Israel, and most are housed in the Israel Museum.